one of the best parts of this show is we get to meet local newsmakers right here in our backyard. This guy is a familiar voice to many folks who tune into Palmetto Mornings. His name is Mike Sanders, and he is responsible for the Give Back Tour. And good morning to you, Mike.
Hey, good morning. I appreciate you having me.
So let's explain to our audience, let's bring them up to speed, how you created the Give Back Tour and what is the purpose of the Give Back Tour.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Obviously, the backstory is back in 2020, right after COVID hit, 2 months later, my father was found with a gunshot wound to the head, May 16th, and he ended up succumbing to his death on May 17th. So people don't understand when I say May 16th, 17th, 2020, that's why there's 2 dates. His decision was the 16th, but his death was the 17th. At that time, I was on black car service, chauffeur transportation, so I was still struggling with the lockdowns of COVID. And so I held on to it for 2 years. January of 22, I sold all of that and immediately founded the Give Back Tour, which is the 501c3, with the main purpose of having an event, the first one being for mental health awareness. Mental health awareness is May. My father's decision was May, coincidentally, of 2020. And so in 22, we had the first event, and it was a fun event. Back then, the beneficiaries were NAMI, Piedmont Tri-County, and Helinski's Hope, which is a college football story. It was a fun event, raised money, and then, like I said, the second purpose of it was to do different causes. We ended up having another event, August of 22, for ALS. That was a 2-part situation with my former father-in-law who had ALS, and of course Derek Ingram, and we assisted and raised a good bit of money in that year for him, but. Kind of fast forwarding to now, for personal reasons, I wasn't able to have it May 16th of this year. That would have been perfect. I always do my events on Thursday. May 16th landed on a Thursday, but without getting into it, didn't do it. But rather than just walking away from it, I postponed it to August 15th of this year to have the third and final Give Back Tour event, and for the main purpose of why I founded it, mental health awareness for my father, honoring my father, but for the beneficiaries. And then since then, because after my first event, there was another local mental health / sex torsion call with Brandon Guffey's son, Gavin Guffey, who founded Less Than 3 Foundation. So in addition to NAMI Piedmont Tri-County, Helinski's Hope, we also added Less Than 3 Foundation as a beneficiary.
Yeah.
Wow, Mike. Well, a great example of turning pain into a therapy session somewhat to help you cope with the loss of your father while still helping others to make sure that they don't suffer in the same way or get the help that they need. Mm-hmm. We know that's always tough sometimes for folks to reach out for help. So by providing this outlet, it seems like you're continuing to open the doors to these organizations so they can help more and more people. Yeah,
I mean, it's also about raising awareness. You know, my father's situation, it was a decade-long battle with depression that he had, but it was still a surprise when the decision was made. You know, I'm not trying to attribute it to COVID, but the fact that it happened 2 months after the COVID lockdown, because, you know, even doctors and therapists and so forth were like, stay home. Call us, but stay home. And, you know, he was already struggling, and, you know, that just kind of put him into a bad shell. And like I said, it was a surprise to all of us, even with all that we had dealt with. And yeah, so as far as the event, it's a fun event. So, I mean, it's a dinner and a lip sync battle. So it's not sitting there listening to seminars. However, I will have about 3 to 4 guest speakers that'll do 5 to 8 minute speeches. I've had a lady in the past, Carrie Schmidt, that's helped me in the past. I've got another lady that's going to be helping that I ran into a father at the gym, and in the story, he presented her option to me, Lily Sander. And so this one, I'll be honest with you, I'm packing it in. I want it to be fun. I want it to be memorable. It's obviously going to be the final one. And so like the previous 3, it's at Brakefield at Riverwalk, Brakefield of Vineyard Riverwalk in Rock Hill. It's a Thursday night, August 15th, 2024. The time is 6:15 to 10. That's when the door opens. I mean, I want to give about 30 to 40 minutes for people to get in, kind of get situated, so forth, and grab a drink. The food's going to be served about 6:50, 7 o'clock, and the entertainment starts about 7:30, 7:35. And then it'll definitely be a packed night until about 9:45, 10 o'clock that evening.
Mike, do you need performers to compete as lip sync dancers and actors
Where are you going with this,
singers. Yeah.
Are you volunteering yourself?
No, I know my skill set.
Well, I'll remind you, if you don't remember, my first event, Patty Mercer was here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
this was only about maybe 2.5 weeks before the event, and I was looking for a Tina Turner, and she recommended Dr. Norma Gray. And she turned it around in a heartbeat, and she actually we do a first and second, third place prize winning, voted on by the audience, and her and 2 background dancers did a Tina Turner Proud Mary skit, off the chain,
That's
best
great.
one, definitely voted one, and I'd met her within 2 weeks of having the first event.
But if folks want to participate, are you still looking for?
So yes, there are a couple of things that I'm looking for. I can't remember specifically right now as far as that, but yeah, there's always option. You know, the last thing people want to see is me all the time, but sometimes I have to kind of fill in the gap. But I have, in those 2 events, I had an actor and actress that kind of, again, stepped up to the plate last minute, PJ Barnes and Melanie Leck, that helped me with all those things. And so there's some gaps I'm still trying to fill. You know, I'll give that information to them as far as how to contact me. The main thing that I'm looking for is that 4 sponsorships. A platinum, which is just one, but I secured that early. Panther Heating and Cooling, Mike Getting, Josh Getting's always been a part. They've been a part of all of my events. They are the platinum. What the platinum table is actually for the beneficiaries. So I have 2 representatives from NAMI, 2 representatives from Helinski's Hope, and 2 representatives from Less Than 3 Foundation. Plus, there's each table holds 10, so plus 2 from Panther Heat and Air, and I'll have the last 2 filled. I got 8 gold tables. I have sponsorships for some of them. What those are is each table sponsors a lip sync. There's 8 lip sync battles. And they're basically around the stage, so they have front row seating. 11 silver tables, and then, of course, there's 154 bronze. Like when a sponsor sponsors a table, they get 2 seats, but there's 10 total. Whether or not they want to fill it with their own people, or I fill it with the other bronze people. The tickets are $100 each for the bronze. The gold sponsorship, $600. The silver's $300. So I'm looking for some gold, looking for some silver, and definitely looking for some bronze. And I can, I'll go ahead and give you this. My cell phone for call or text is 803-517-9372. If you prefer email, that's mike@givebacktour.org.
Okay, so it's the Farewell Give Back Tour, you claim. Now, we know with farewell tours, they go away, but they seem to come back in a couple of years. But right now, it's the farewell tour of the Give Back Tour. It is Thursday, August the 15th. 6:15 it starts there at the Brakefield at the Riverwalk, Brakefield event venue at Riverwalk. It's a dinner and lip sync battle. You can reach out to Mike for more information. Mike, as always, we appreciate you sharing your story with us, and we continue to keep you and your family in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you so much, sir.
Absolutely.